Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my wrap up for the first half of July, and I've managed to read 7 books so far in the month. The first book I read is for the Book for the Summer Reading Challenge created by Covers with Cassidy, where I am testing out romantasy to see how I like it, and I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, and this is about a human who is taken in by a vampire king when her family is killed during an attack war, and the vampire king takes her in as his own and raises her, trains her to be a warrior, and she is now entered into these trials along with a lot of other vampires from across the land. There's 3 vampire factions. The 3 factions don't really get along with each other. They're all very different. And in these trials, she ends up teaming up with a couple of vampires from one of the other factions. And I liked the vampire world set up in this book. I liked the characters well enough, especially the love interest. I liked him a lot, and I liked the idea of these trials. Makes the story very exciting. This one I didn't like as much as the first romantasy I read, Spark of the Everflame. It was still really good. This one was still really good, but it seemed like bordering on YA. Like, it just reminded me of all the YA paranormal romance and fantasy romance books that I have read in the past, but now they're made for adults. So they have a little bit more adult content in them. So it didn't wow me like Spark of the Everflame, but it still was a very good book with a very, very good love interest that I liked a lot. Next, I finish an arc for The Witch Roads by Kate Elliott, which is a epic fantasy story about a woman who is tasked with getting a prince across the land when he is cut off. And this woman knows a way through the mountains to get him where he needs to go. There's a lot of political intrigue and maneuvering in this story, which is something that I love in fantasy books. And I loved the world building and characters as well. It was a great book. Next is my first book I read for Giallo July, created by the Bookubus. That is The House in the Pines by Anna Reyes. This I read for Yellow on the Cover. This cover really intrigued me. A house in the pines sounds like something very mysterious I want to find out more about. And unfortunately, although I did like the setup of this book, where it ended up going was not my favorite, and this book ended up being just okay. It was a very strange direction this book ended up going in. The other book that I read for Giallo July is Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. This is a thriller that does not go in the right time order. It starts at the end where this woman's son ends up killing someone and is arrested and is in facing prison time. He's 18 years old. And then when she wakes up the next morning, it's the day before. Time has started going backwards, and she can now try to figure out what went wrong to cause this horrible thing to happen and try to fix things. Very interesting, different kind of premise that really worked very well in this case. It was so fun to follow this woman's journey, figuring out everything going on with her family, all the family secrets, and what she can do to make things right. This was a 5-star read. My next book is The Colorado Kid by Stephen King. And I read this for the Stephen King read along, hosted by the book Drummer and Ian the Reader. Colorado Kid is short, taking place in Maine. But this story was utterly forgettable for me. I mean, it was pretty good. It was interesting enough to follow, but it was boring. Not quite mysterious enough or thrilling enough for something, you know. Next, I finished In Darkest Dreams by J.P. Graves. And this is about two friends who are veterans that take a job in a fire watch tower in the mountains of Wyoming in 1957, and things get very scary very fast. There's a reality warping creature up in those woods, creating all kinds of chaos. It was a great short read with emotional punch to it that I really enjoyed. Next, I listened to The Summer I Ate the Rich by Micah and Maritza Malit. I read this book for the Creepy Book Club hosted by Nightmare Maven, and this is about a mother and daughter who are struggling to make it. They are working for the rich, but they are barely scraping by, and the mother has fibromyalgia and needs pain medication and cannot afford it, and insurance isn't wanting to cover it. And so the daughter finds a way to get more money from their employer by getting this internship. But it just so happens that maybe this woman has some secrets, and maybe she just might be a living zombie. The Summer I Ate the Rich was not what I was first expecting just from the title, but I was hooked right away and enjoyed my ride through this story. You might like this one if you are a fan of delicious food stories with social commentary on class and race, then this one might be for you. I enjoyed reading it for sure. Those are the 7 books that I've read first half of July, and I am already getting some more in for the second half. I am having a great reading month, and I hope you are too. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books. What did you think of them, or do you want to read them? And I will be back very soon with another book related video. Thanks. Bye.